so that's your alternative as opposed to let things just burn out and die. But so that's where we're at. Questions, comments, things like that? We're good.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Terry.
I'm
sorry, I wasn't saying thank you, bye. I was just saying thank you. Can't have a question.
I want to get rid of me.
Just FYI for those who are new to the neighborhood, the rule is a half horsepower pump. Is it one? Yeah, 1 horsepower pump.
Just 1 horsepower?
Yeah.
1 horsepower.
Okay.
1 horsepower.
1 horsepower pump.
They do have results done. Is it okay if we? The ambulance here for our volunteers.
Go ahead. I don't know if this is going to be good news or bad news. We have a tie for the 3rd position. In first was Ann Perkins with a score of 36, Renee Garitha with a score of 34. We have Justin Andreen and Todd Fike in a tie at 21. I don't know how you want to do that tiebreaker, but I will also tell you that the person behind Justin and Todd was Rick Urso by 2 points. So should you decide to do a 5-person board, you have your board picked out.
Well, that would be.
I think a 5-person board would need to be a covenant change, but, so I'll let you finish.
All right. Justin and Mr. Fight there are going to have to arm wrestle.
So I guess this,
He got it.
do you want to do a show of hands?
Yeah.
or just-
I guess, any, yes.
Can
I think I can be loud enough, I'm pretty good at it.
Okay.
I think what we should do is take the first 3 that were given, then immediately gather a committee underneath the ACC, which can be done according to the bylaws, and with that, immediately meet within 1 month with the others, create an immediate covenant, which would go out for the 80-20 and come back up. That could be done. The other thing that could be done is to take those 2 and do a recount here now.
Right.
Those are my suggestions. What's everybody think?
But does anybody
Is
else
anybody
like
nervous about anonymity? Anonymity.
One more time. One more time.
Yes.
So those
Being
are 2 good
anonymous.
options. Those are 2 good options. Is there any other options?
Those that weren't here, did they get to vote?
Yes, so everyone on the computer did get to vote.
And they were counted in there?
The people that left, yeah.
So
I never foresaw these circumstances happening.
Does either one want to opt out?
I really don't mind either. I wanted to do this, but I also want, I really want to do this, just so you guys understand. But I know my absence is very difficult to try to jump this hurdle where we're at. So Todd being in the neighborhood and being a part of this, I'm more than willing, and if you guys ever come back and want to have a 5-person board, I'd be more than willing to come back on. But I'm fine either way. I'd love if Todd, I think he's a very good candidate to bring this all together as well. So I think he'd be a lot better than me just because of my absence in the community and stuff. So, and it is hard for me to be present at the meetings and stuff like that. So I'd be willing to drop out if Todd was good with it.
All right. Well, congratulations, man.
Well, I mean, I will say though that my plans and my thoughts are that I would rather see because of the growth. I mean, I went to last year's meeting, nowhere near as many people. In the long run, we need to see like at least 5 people spread the workload, people go on vacations and stuff like that. So, I mean, in the long run, I almost see that if you're still interested in whoever else might be, but I think we probably should, move to a 5-person board. So don't run off yet.
So, do you want to ask him if he's officially bowing out just one more time?
Yeah, just double checking, Justin, you're officially.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So we have our 3 board members?
Yes. Let's hear it. This is going to stay in plain sight for everyone, along with everyone who signed in, just so that we are keen on that. Okay, Great. Good. All right. Renee or Todd, would you like to take over now? Because I'm done.
At a certain point where you have to appoint the chairman?
Excellent.
Absolutely. Perfect. That's
With
the
the-
perfect time to do it.
Maybe the three people can come on up.
Oh. So I know we need to appoint chairman, and, also I believe that, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but ultimately we have to appoint treasurer also, so.
Yes.
That's what I was doing.
One of you guys could also choose to be that, or you could appoint, is that right, Ann? Is that what we understand?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I can talk loud.
Yeah.
To that. Do you guys typically, wanna vote for your chair?
Let's do that.
Because, I mean, in the long run, the three of us making the decision for chair is not your guys' voice, so, you guys, how you guys wanna do that?
You
By
wanna
ballot,
hand-
by raise of hands, what do you guys like?
Broke up and say.
It doesn't say.
It does.
It's not saying the board chooses among them, they're trying to give us a vote.
Yeah, they're just.
Which is cool.
And
Well,
I
appreciate
actually
that.
would love if Renee or Todd would be chair. I love being on the board and I'm happy to do that, happy to usher us into this next phase, but, I have some other things on my plate too, so if you guys, if either one of you would be chair, that would be fantastic for me.
Well. Sounds like you're gonna do it, because I'm not saying that, in the long run, I just moved in, I'm still really busy on this house. I'm not saying that you're gonna get a hold of me, cause I'll be out in the yard, just come by, but, I mean, that's up to you if you're wanting to do it.
I'll be the chair then. If you
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to thank everybody for their vote. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can just move forward and get resolutions for all the issues that are going on.
I think you're gonna have to hold the mic closer to your mouth.
Pardon?
Hold the mic closer.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
There you go, great.
First thing I'd like to do is appoint the treasurer. I'd like to make a nomination for Matt Westcott.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That wasn't a vote, I just wanted to say something if I could, please. If it's okay with the board, what I would ask is that, I think for, everybody hear me okay, or? It's not on, it's okay, I'll just yell. I think for just complete transparency and honesty, I would like to not get compensated in any way for the next year. It's not my intention. I'd also ask if the board's okay with it, to use those same funds to put together some software, some extra reporting. I don't know what that would be yet, but that would be my commitment, is I really want to be transparent with it. I think there's some different opportunity there. I'm not gonna have an answer next week, but I would love to get some time together. So as a treasurer and as the secretary, I'd love to be a great communicator, and that's really my vow in doing that. So I appreciate your vote and trust in me, but that's sort of what I'm asking is, please let me use the funds towards reporting if I get to have board approval. And then I love the idea with the videos. Joan that did the video of Mike Lansing, I thought was spectacular. I think on some meetings and maybe some committee meetings, you can see more and get more from watching it. And so I would just ask permission if I can do some videos at some of those meetings for transparency. So.
Renee, who made the second on that?
About 10 people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Carol.
Okay. So,
Can I just say something real quick, Renee?
yes.
Yes. I just wanted to go back to, what, Ms. Bledsoe, I don't know if she left. A lot of stuff that happens at those ACC meetings, I understand wants to be recorded. And just from my year doing it, I just like everybody to know that there is a lot of neighbor on neighbor issues. which is why we don't record a lot of that, because it's on a personal level. You know, somebody having trouble with the neighbor, somebody having trouble here or there. So that's why a lot of that stuff isn't recorded, just so everyone knows. Thanks, Renee.
Yep. Okay, did we get the treasurer's report, or were we waiting on that? Are we able to do that?
Well, we're nervous about the treasurer's report because of the cease and desist.
Okay.
I have a sheet, if, Joan, if you and Eric are willing to sign this, that indemnifies Max and I'm willing to hand it out, but I don't feel comfortable handing out the treasurer's report, I have them right here, but,
I don't understand the issue.
the cease and desist says I can't do anything as secretary treasurer.
Yes, you can. It's saying that you can't collect dues from Picard and Conver.
It was not that clear.
And it was clear that you needed to refund the money. So all that is a cease and desist on the two roads as far as moving forward.
Then will you sign this, and so then I'm in the clear. Again, I've had to hire my own attorney to deal with this because we haven't had legal representation as a board, so I don't feel comfortable. I'm not an attorney, you're not an attorney, so, I mean, I would prefer, I'm willing to hand deliver the financial reports once we get this sorted, and once we get legal counsel, but I don't feel comfortable sharing them tonight.
The 2025, whole look that you look at had nothing to do with the cease and desist. Can you share that?
Again, without legal advice, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
The cease and desist went into effect in April. So you can show 2025 financials.
Okay, will you please sign this then, so I can make sure that I won't be in a lawsuit, like you just said earlier, personally liable? Will you sign this form?
What does the form say?
It says that I am not responsible, I will not be sued on a level.
Do you have the form she can see?
Yeah, it's right there.
You already put it in the meeting minutes, so, the agenda, so I don't think you need me to sign anything.
In the dark.
So, are you not willing to sign?
No. We're not going to sign.
Okay, so maybe the board has a solution on how to proceed.
I think right now we just have to table the treasurer's report, because I have no privy to the cease and desist, so I don't even know what we're talking about, to be honest with you. Joan, I would ask, can you give us a report on any dues that you've collected and expenditures?
The dues that was collected, I didn't collect any, actually, I'm just the proposed secretary, so I didn't collect any.
You've never collected any dues for any of the Jeffries subdivision?
Not me personally, no.
So who has collected dues?
The treasurer.
Which is, we don't know.
Our treasurer is lacking
No.
quite a few dues that were paid to somebody
No,
else, I'm
that's
just
what
trying to
the cease
figure
and
out.
desist is about, so why don't you read the cease and desist, as a
Well,
board
it's not to
member.
my privy, we as
As a new
residents
board
were able
member,
to
you
read
have
it.
access.
You need to sign on.
Okay.
There you go. So,
Okay.
I make a motion that Renee, and I know we don't like to use attorneys, but obviously there's threats with the cease and desist coming from an attorney, that you could reach out to an attorney, I think the one that we have with experience, and get consultation on what can be shared.
Okay.
Is that reasonable? Can I have a second? Any discussions?
Vote? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to old business. Everybody got a copy of the 25 annual meeting minutes, I believe. Any comments, questions, concerns?
I move to approve.
Okay.
I'll second. Oh, Heather got it.
Discussion regarding dirt bikes in the
Hold on,
neighborhood.
you have to say all in favor, all opposed.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. All in favor of the minutes being approved?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Next business, discussion regarding dirt bikes in the neighborhood. I believe that was taken care of, right?
So last year we did, and again, this goes back to what Max was saying about, you know, the meetings that the board has. And again, I talked to legal counsel about this, and then also from my experience on the school board. In a way, they're very much like executive session, because we are dealing with issues among neighbors that, you know, so-and-so hasn't paid their bill for a year, and so we need to, you know, have someone, the attorney consultant, so-and-so has done something to a neighbor. So that is why I don't put those on the Google Drive, because I don't think that really we want to have that kind of animosity within the neighborhood. So that's where that comes from. So last year, we did send out, a letter to one of the neighbors who is no longer here. And then we also sent out one out to the general public. All of you got that letter regarding dirt bikes. And it has come to my attention, if one of the neighbors asked for it to be on the agenda again this year, because there are people still riding dirt bikes, and people can hear them. It's kind of the same thing as the letter. I can resend out the letter from the attorney, you know, that we sent out last year, but people are bothered by it. And so again, this is where I would encourage you to talk to your neighbors and, you know, let's have these conversations. But also, that letter did say we weren't supposed to be riding dirt bikes on our personal property in the neighborhood.
And just clarification was there assessments if those things like that came up that we would be assessing if they didn't? Is that what was given to them? I believe that there was. Meaning if they didn't cease it,
Yeah.
Fines.
Yeah, there was,
Yeah,
I think there were fines involved in that. Again, I have to look at the letter, I haven't looked at it for a while. But.
Yeah.
And that's where, again, the board right now doesn't really have the ability to assess whether people are late on dues or whether there are things like this. So that's one of those things in the covenants too, I think we should look at.
Okay, can I have a motion that has been discussed?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next, old business is the discussion of covenants and bylaws. Yes, Nat?
So, just for the ease of everybody's attention span tonight, I was gonna suggest that perhaps we can also, like we talked about a subcommittee for the financial, maybe we could also have a subcommittee for all the different inputs on the covenant. I tell you, the list of board candidates were awesome. Like, I think all of you guys have a lot to add to, I really do. And so I would love it if we could take advantage of that expertise into some of these committees. And that would be the one that I would think, otherwise the discussion could go on for 2 hours tonight. So that was my suggestion, is maybe we could schedule a time, reconvene, get some help. Let's do a covenants discussion and let's start working on it.
Okay.
History of a question for you guys. In the past, I read the minutes that you guys had went to attempt some of this, and it was like an all or nothing. Was it a complete change, or was it individual line item changes?
There were 5 different amendments that were proposed, and everybody voted on those 5 amendments individually.
Okay, but those never got put in?
None of them passed, the 80% majority.
Yeah,
I think the issue was that we tried to do two
Well,
minutes
that's
at one
what I'm-
time. Instead of doing one at a time, letting everybody really think it through, I
Yeah,
think we threw too much at everybody at once.
Ultimately, that's what my point was, is that if in the last time, you know, you guys expected, there's a lot of you here, but I would expect that in the long run, you know, if you're gonna do them one at a time and, you know, vote on them, it's gonna be a long year. But, in the long run, I know that, I won't say Joan because she was running, but, their lawyer was gonna have a white sheet of information that would update those. And, it's probably gonna be very, you know, easy if you wanna look at it from a legal standpoint, that he sees those things going forward. And then any of those other things that might be put in, whether that be, you know, fine assessments or any information that would be, currently it says that we're supposed to adopt tonight what we're supposed to put in our dues. There's nothing in the actual covenants that say how much we're supposed to be collecting. So in the long run, part of that cease and desist was that we need to establish that kind of stuff too. And so if we're gonna go one at a time, get ready. So.
Couldn't we suggest several? Couldn't we suggest several covenant changes, but vote on them one by one?
I like that.
Well,
Yes.
yes, but I'm saying, like, you're gonna have to probably vote on each one of them. It can't be a whole, like, as a whole, as a group.
Yeah, that's what failed before, is that we voted on the whole group.
So,
And
that's why I was asking that, I've heard that happening in different ways.
There was another one.
Kurt Boleyn, and I was on the board when I came up with these. There was only 5 questions, and they were individually questions saying yes or no. So it wasn't a group thing, it was only 5 questions, we were suggested to do one at a time. And personally, I was thinking, if people can't vote on 5 simple questions individually, something's wrong, that's just. And actually, the lawyer at the time went over those with us for the words and suggested those questions, or, we heard the questions, but he proofread them or whatever, so made it legally or whatever, so. Everything was legit, there was 5 questions, and we didn't even get the 80%. Yeah, not even 80 yeses or no's, so everything was,
And be warned too, that Mike Lansing, Joan and Eric's attorney, warned us if a letter gets sent out to the entire community asking a question, and you do not answer that question, you're a no vote, that is a yes vote.
That's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
Number one, the covenants and the way that they always set these up. Sarah has already made that point. What had been done and needs to be done. And yes, Todd, you could gather everybody together and pick those as Heather and her group had done. But too many times, just with legislation issues, when you go and you vote on something and you go to the polls, you vote an issue. You add to an amendment. If you create a new amendment, you vote that issue. What you need to do is you send them out that way, because otherwise what will happen is people will say, I don't like 2 of those things, but I like 3 of those things. So then too often you'll get a no vote. That's why by breaking it out, yes, you can decide that with a committee, but you then take them and mail them. Really? You people can't give each other 6 months to get each amendment done and recorded at the courthouse? Come on. Yes, we can. It's pretty easy.
Any other comments?
I was just gonna say, my attorney, said that we could do it that way. It doesn't mean it has to be done that way. So, like, if you don't vote, you don't put a yes or a no, it's an automatic yes. He was just thinking that might be a good way to try to get more of an 80% vote. That's.
I would agree with you too. I would agree with you.
For fairness, the way that we handled it was people who didn't respond, because we hadn't said if you don't respond, it's an automatic yes. We didn't feel it was fair to count them as yeses because they didn't respond. So the people that didn't respond, we automatically counted them as no's. So that's probably a lot of why things didn't go through.
I just wanted to bring up a point that, from experience with working with some community stuff, a lot of times there's a fight on the individual, what is gonna happen, right? This is a better solution, this is a better solution. But if we can just stop first and just say, hey, why we wanna work together is we wanna have some resolution, have some common ground, right? Have some transparency, all of those things. I think we're all 99% in agreement with that. How we go about it shouldn't be trying to push one solution. Let's work together. Let's first learn the information. Let's first find out what happened last time, what could happen in the future. So that's why I suggest, we have a lot to talk about. I would suggest doing 2 committees, one financial and one working on the covenants, and then obviously getting the attorney to be involved. So anyway.
With that being said, the discussion of covenants and bylaws, who is all in favor of us doing some
motion of having this subcommittee for the covenant.
Second.
All in favor?
Sorry, can you repeat that, subcommittee for what?
For the covenant,
Okay.
working on the
Covenants
covenants and bylaws.
So we'll have a
Okay.
subcommittee report to the board.
How
and
big is
then-
the subcommittee?
Yeah, that's, and how's it represented? I mean, I think. you know,
I would
it's
say
gonna
we
have it-
probably need 5 people on it, if you were to ask me.
So on some boards I've seen where they ask one board member to always be present for each committee.
Yeah.
And that one board member would volunteer, and then from there, they would be kind of the chairman of that committee. And then I would love to have as many as 5 people, but I think for this case and scale, we start with if there's so the question might be is, out of the board, out of the 3 of you, who would like to champion that committee?
I think you're a little ahead of yourself.
Okay,
So-
yep.
So there's a motion on the floor.
You're right.
We discuss it before we vote, and the discussion would be, should we amend this to be, for example, 2 Brigard side, or south side, 2 north, and 1 board member? And we discuss that, and then we amend the motion. And so we're just trying to get through what we're creating before we're ever deciding who's gonna be on it, or how,
Okay.
or who's gonna, what the agenda of that's going to be.
Excellent.
So,
Thank
so
you.
the discussion, I'm gonna make a motion that we have 2 south side representatives, 2 north side, and 1 off the board on a 5-person committee, subcommittee, investigating covenant changes and improvements.
I will
Okay,
second
anybody
that.
second that?
I second it.
I just have a,
Yes,
comment.
Discussion.
The covenant change actually affects, Cottonwood Minor 1 and 2.
Yep.
So we should probably have representative from Cottonwood Minor, which is Keeper Lane and the new house being built.
Okay, we'll check into getting a person from them, their area as well.
So just to let you know, I did visit with each and every one, and most of them agreed. And, so they did get the notice of the meeting, and I'm happy to reach out to them. I mean,
Yeah, I just think we need, because it affects them too.
yep, I think that's great.
So the proper way would be to make a motion to add somebody from Keebler Lane. If you get a second, then we'll discuss that. And then and then we vote on that. And if that gets voted down, then we go to the previous motion. We gotta work our way out of this, so we're working towards a 3rd motion. So is that a motion?
So I'll make the motion.
You actually
that-
just need to amend your first motion,
Yeah,
like,
that's
and
I was just gonna say.
just amend it.
They can do that too.
I would make an amendment to add to that, which is if one of the Keebler and the Poncianos on Highway are willing to allow them to the committee as well, to add 1
We got
person.
2, 2 and 1, and board members, so 6, is what you're saying.
All right, you're right,
So
thank you.
is there a second to that? So there's a second. Now, the discussion, now we
Seconded.
Now we have a discussion.
now, I would mention that you don't ever want a committee with even numbers.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
So that's easy, a board member should be ex officio,
Yeah.
which they automatically can be, and that's not voting.
Right.
There you go.
I agree with that.
Great.
So the amendment to the amendment to the amendment,
Yep.
the board member will be ex officio, no voting right, but present.
Yep.
Alright, you guys got that over there?
Writing as fast, typing as fast as I can.
Yeah.
So do we need a second motion to the amendment,
I second
So
it.
we had the second, and
Joan seconded that.
Okay.
Any discussions, or are we done?
Hold on,
Okay,
wasn't it, Christine that seconded?
Christina seconded the officio, but Joan, who seconded Joan's Cottonwood Minor?
Christina.
Christine did that one, I did the amendment to the amendment to the amendment.
Okay.
I'm glad it's on video.
So
the discussion, just the question is, if we don't get someone from Cottonwood, then what happens at that point? So we then have a different number of people again, and how do you move forward? Then does the board member get the vote back? Is
Yes, that would be the way I would suggest it, is that it would just revert back to board member.
I don't feel like you can do that in this motion. I think we get through this motion, and then we can make a second that says, if this happens, so let's get through this one first.
Thank you.
Okay, so the second amendment, where we have 2 on the south, 2 on the north, 1 in minor, the board member will only overlook no voting on the subcommittee for the covenants and bylaws. Is there any further discussion? Okay, we'll have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Yeah, now, so would you like to make an emotion to
Clean it up.
clean it up?
So I'll make a motion that if nobody from Keebler and the highway is willing or able to be on the committee, then the board member can have the vote. Can I get a second?
Second.
Now we discuss.
Now we discuss, any discussion?
Any discussions?
Amen.
Okay, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Nate.
Okay, let's go on to maintenance and well-kept yard, cars, vehicles, campers, boats, etc.
Can we go to the financial committee?
Pardon me, I can't hear you.
We didn't talk about the financial committee.
Oh, okay. We'll go back. I would like to, discuss the financial committee that we can have, that will report to Matt.
Yeah, did you make a motion to add, did you wanna make a motion, to add to the finance committee?
No, they skipped it.
Right,
I said-
so that's what,
Yeah.
so,
I make a motion to talk about the financial committee, and the same way that we just talked about the other.
right.
I second that.
Who was the second?
Matt,
What's the
Matt
motion?
Martin.
You form,
So,
you form the finance
discussion on
committee,
that?
pretty much like a carbon copy of the discussion.
So the motion.
No, not a discussion, amend that motion that we do something similar with the, other motion that was passed, where we had 2 people from Picard, 2 people from the north, and 2 people from, Track City.
Right, the miscellaneous.
I would suggest,
So the only comment, the only comment that I have about that is I'm not opposed to people from all sides being on the committee. The people that are on Keebler and, Upper Road, those 4 lots, 5 lot owners, they don't pay dues because they don't get road plowing and they don't get any irrigation water from us. They have irrigation water that's allotted to their
Do they have voting?
land. So they have voting rights for changes to the architectural control committee, but I don't necessarily believe that they, and the covenants, sorry, covenants. But I don't know that I believe that they need to be involved in the finances because they don't contribute to the finances. So that's my only comment.
Then I would strike that part of it, but let's keep in mind too, that committees are only suggested bodies and bring their actions to the board for approval. That's all the committees do.
Correct.
Anybody else have any discussion?
I would suggest that 1 from each side and then 1 off the board is plenty. 5 people on the subcommittee for just finance, it seems like a lot to me.
You can amend that.
Yeah, so it's just discussion.
I would agree that, 1 board member and 1 from north, 1 from south should be fine for a financial committee. I would just want to say that the financial committee should be directed to do an audit. And I think an audit best serves everybody if that's done by an independent party. Nobody involved here.
So I had one, and so I think there's so much of it that we need to start getting fact-finding, getting some information, and start working together. And then my suggestion would be, maybe we start there. And if people are unsatisfied, then we discuss doing an audit if necessary, but it's just my thoughts. I'm open to whatever. You had something you wanted to say?
No. So I would, based off of the, fog of finances, I know that your point to, being able to put forth a motion of, and this is the discussion of whether it be 1 and 1, and a board member, in the long run, obviously this is gonna be one of those things where I wouldn't suggest that Ann would be the board member as far as like open discussion, because ultimately if you're doing that, it needs to be, separated from anything that may have gone on in the past. So at that point, there may be something that the board can, either appoint somebody, or if there's somebody, if we're looking for volunteers, the same goes with the architectural control committee. Obviously, we're looking at a lot of people, the covenants, you're looking for a lot of people. So I don't know how many people are in this room that are willing to wanna, step in, but we're talking about number of folks now. So, are we nominating and voting for all these tonight?
So I think the motion on the floor currently is Rick's, which was 2, 2, and 1.
Well, he struck
And
that.
he struck it, but we didn't put anything back in, so
Right.
he can only amend.
Amend his.
Yeah, so Rick needs to amend yours to what you intend, and then we discuss it. Then if we don't like it, we vote down, start over. Or if we like it, we vote it in.
So we did the discussion on his original, and then ultimately he can make the changes, so.
Yeah, so I would make a motion then for the finance committee to be 1 from Picard and 1 from the south, and then 1 ex officio on the board to look over.
And the treasurer.
Comment?
That's your
And the
motion.
treasurer can be present.
And the treasurer to be present, yes.
Comment? What would be the duties of this financial committee beside doing an audit? Would they be setting a budget perhaps?
So, everything having to do with the budget is still going to be up to whether or not you're looking for board approval.
So that doesn't have to be part of the motion, I think. If somebody seconds that motion for discussion, and then you can draw out what the.
Yeah, we need a second for his.
I'll second that.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is that we're looking for 1 from the north, 1 from the south, and 1 board member for, finance committee and the treasurer.
Is that right?
And just for clarity, it'd be voting member from the south, voting member from the north, and I believe you said ex officio off the ACC board, but I would believe you'd have to have them vote.
Right.
To keep it odd, and then the treasurer would be ex officio.
Yeah, you can do it that way.
Well, cause he's not a voting board member.
So wouldn't the committee roll their decision up to
Shouldn't be any
board
voting at the
or
committee level.
ultimate?
Yes, the committee pushes that to the board.
And we really
There's no
don't,
voting at the
like,
committee
we don't have to get
level. I
this
don't
far in
see
the
any.
weeds, we're
Right,
getting
right.
really far in the weeds, we can just vote to make a committee.
Right.
That consists of 1 and 1 and 1, and we don't have to decide tonight too, those people who are interested should contact the board members and the treasurer and say, I'm interested, and go from there.
Yeah.
Cause I only have the Zoom until 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay, we're off.
his motion's on the floor, it's been seconded, we've discussed it, in the long run, we can vote.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
All right.
And as Ann suggested, we'll have people just get a hold of the board if they're interested in either committee. We'll put an email out to everybody offering it, and we'll move forward that way. I'd like to see when Matt gets the books, that he can report back to the board within 30 days with the new system. So we kind of know where we're at that point, and then they can get the committee involved and look at everything over, if that's okay.
Sounds great.
So, I think that was everything Okay, we discussed now maintaining a well-kept yard, cars, vehicles, campers, boats, etc. Open spaces near your property, please maintain, trim weeds, keep mowed, fire season. And this year's gonna probably be really bad with no water, so.
Yeah, I think that's really important this year.
Yeah. Any discussion on that for anybody?
If anybody needs help mowing or knows neighbors that need help mowing, I'm happy to come over and give them a hand.
Thank you, Maxwell.
Not you, though.
Okay, having discussed that, all in favor?
Real quick, I'm sorry.
I don't have to keep doing that, okay. Sorry.
Sorry to put you on the spot on mowing. Were your plans to mow every lot? And maybe when?
Well, then you guys still have.
Oh,
No.
yeah, I think our plan is.
Yeah, the vacant lots, normally we mow them around the time that they can be used for somebody for the grass usage for animals. That's kind of been the thing. I don't know how many times a year they need mowed per se, but they have been mowed every year to this point.
Yeah, I mean, I know that some didn't get done last year, that's one reason I was asking. I didn't know what your plans were.
Yeah.
Do we know which lots they were?
They were most all of Convair. I mean, but
think
that's.
some of them, they get mowed to an extent, but there's areas that they don't.
No,
I don't know.
only one of them got like a row of one way, and that was it, and nothing else. I know across the draw there was some.
Yeah, we'll monitor that a little better this year.
No worries, I just didn't know if you guys were thinking earlier because of the drought situation or whatnot.
Yeah. We'll get,
Building approval needs to be submitted to the JDS Architectural Control Committee before you start building. There's a checklist for requirement information available on the Google Drive. So just, if there's any improvements you're doing, adding on, garage, anything like that, you need to make sure you get approval. New business. Future road repair schedule, summer of '26. Is there anything planned at this point?
The past board did nothing, so there's nothing planned, and maybe we
Okay.
don't do anything this year. That's up for discussion.
Okay, I think that's something we probably will discuss as a board once we look everything over and see where we're at, if any improvements need to be done. Dark skies, light pollution.
This is,
I believe Christina had something.
Yeah, Christina had something.
Okay. Shoot on the video.
I don't know. I can send it out though.
Hi, my name is Christina Howard. As some of you may or may not know, I do a lot of work with the county. And when we're looking at our growth in Sheridan County, and I specifically work with a lot of historical spaces. I'm the chairman for the Sheridan County Historic Preservation Board. And we look at a lot of the other counties in Wyoming and kind of monitor some of the things that they're doing. Especially in some of the more populated areas, it gives us kind of an indication as to what's on the horizon. And last year, and this was published in May of '25, last year, Teton County became dark sky certified. And what that means is that they have rules and regulations in their county and also in their cities, for their lighting. A lot of people come out to Wyoming to see stars and see the skies at night. And before a lot of our development out in our area, you could see the Milky Way clear as day every night. And I'm sure many of you on your social feed watch when we have a red moon or a pink moon, or when there's going to be some kind of a celestial transition. So I do have a video that was put on by Wyoming PBS that Ann said that she would send out to everyone. But it's done by a lady that, she is in charge of the Sinks Canyon Dark Sky Project. And it talks about lighting fixtures that you can put on your home that have domes on them to direct lighting down. It talks about turning your lights off at night so that if you don't need a light on at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, don't have it on. There are findings as far as our life conditions, we're open to lighting all the time with our phones and our screens and everything, and it talks about the benefits of turning the lights off. There are also benefits with our wildlife habitat, because a lot of them, we have nocturnal animals, and we also have animals that are used to sleeping in dark spaces. So you'll see that in well-lit areas, that's the reason why we don't have as much wildlife. So there's a whole thing on there, on this video about having motion detectors or turning lights on that you don't need, like if you have a motion detector in front of your garage or whatever. But what's going to happen is as our neighborhood gets more and more development, we're gonna see less and less of our skies. So I'm pleading to all of you to kind of take a look at this video that Ann is sending out and really think about what kind of lighting you should have on your home. I know Paul and I have talked about changing the lights in our house too, so that they're more focused down and not out. And also not having lights shining up, because that interferes with our light dome that occurs over Sheridan. And if you look at how our light dome has visibly enlarged since our development, you'll see that we're going to be running out of night sky. Thank you.
Okay, beautification and maintenance on Piper and Cessna Road entrances. We discussed this about a year ago, and then it just kind of, I think Christina tried to submit some stuff and it didn't go anywhere. We'd like to readdress this and see if we can't get a little more beautification there. Those are pretty old entrances and something real simple. So, I think that's something the board will look at, and maybe we'll see if some volunteers wanna help work on that as well. We're not gonna vote on that tonight necessarily. I think it's something we can discuss later.
Sign for contract too.
Rewording of covenants and bylaws, I think we've kind of discussed the committee, so we're not gonna go over that in depth. Creation of financial subcommittee, we've done that. Vote on financial software usage, costs allowed. Well, Matt's given us $600 back to be able to do that, so I don't know if that needs a vote necessarily. If you guys feel like it does, we can take one, but I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I think you can get good software for $600.
Yeah.
Board members have any?
I think
I did meet with, so we're at First Federal, that's our bank that we've had, since 1989. Bruce Nelson, I actually found your signature on the EIN number. Congratulations. You and, Mel Quick were on there. So the bank now offers a software similar to Quicken Books right in the bank, app itself, and so that's about $10 a month. So, that's something that the board can consider, and, you know, Matt is new treasurer. And then there's also now, Renee, you will love this, there's also a feature to pay online with a QR code. There is a service fee, so again, that's something to think about.
That's fun.
Okay, and so that's another option too. So there are definitely lots of new options, and I think we definitely wanna spend the money and update our system so people can have the transparency they need.
Okay, do you guys feel like we need to make a motion for this?
Yes.
No.
It's a board.
No, good, okay. Neighborhood picnic options. These went to the wayside a few years back, and they used to be so much fun, you guys. You got to know people in a whole different light. It was so nice. So I would suggest that we do it, and as a board, we can kind of start planning that, and maybe have a little committee that would be willing to do that. Oh, yeah, he's volunteering to do it.
No. I just wanted to point out that I think there's a line item, vote on safe deposit box.
Oh, sorry, yes, I skipped that.
So I'm all for the picnics, but I don't think you want me coordinating.
No. Okay, vote on safety deposit box certificates of water shares.
Okay, just an update too, as I put in the agenda, I put in how many shares each side has, and then, I went to the, our safe deposit box where they have been for years, and it's in the minutes, that everybody knew that, if you read the minutes. I met with Tom, and we went over the shares that the north side has, so we have all our certificates, and, we know that the certificates were mailed to Justin or someone at the address in Douglas, and so, he's looking into where the certificate shares are for the paper shares are for the south side, but they are not in my safe deposit box. Again, we made the decision to put them in our safe deposit box because they were down in our crawl space, and, nobody really wanted to pay for a safe deposit box for 8 certificates. But I think, again, maybe we need to change that. And then, the other thing, I just totally forgot, it's been a long meeting, so. But that's something to think about for sure, if we want someone to do that.
Okay, do you guys feel like
I have
we
a
can?
question.
Yes.
Do the paper certificates mean anything, or are they digitized somewhere that you can file them, or?
Are they digitized, Tom?
No.
No, so they're not, and that's where, if Justin can't find it, sorry to interrupt, Joe, they will have to be reissued, and there is a fee for that, and so that would be something that we would have to look at as an expense as well, so, yeah, but there are actual paper certificates.
So question, you're paying for the safety deposit box out of your own box, and then just putting the shares for safekeeping in your
Yeah.
box, right?
So if my house burns down, they're not paying.
But currently, there is no fee to Jeffries Draw
No.
to pay for it, whereas you're absorbing that.
Yes.
So I guess the question is, are people uncomfortable allowing Ann to keep the shares there? I'm personally not, but if they are, then we have another expense. Right? This is just what I'm bringing up.
Right.
What's the value?
We were
Paying
at
about $40,000.
an annual meeting, we all agreed to do exactly what she did.
Agreed.
She didn't do that herself.
Yep.
I'm totally in agreement with it. I just like it being real open. Nathan, you had a position to?
What was the value of those stock certificates that we have for the reservoirs? It's about 40
Or
grand.
sell them today?
I got no, I'd have to.
Be more than
I
$100.
remember buying them
The
over.
reissuing stocks themselves, I think is $75 now per stocks reissue. The board hasn't in their safe a copy of what was issued. It's just that you have to turn in that paper copy. So, my recommendation I'd like to make, a recommendation, I guess, to whoever is the secretary, I would like those certificates under their charge.
Okay.
All right, they're going to you.
So Matt Martin has.
What is the cost of an annual safe deposit box?
It depends on the size and everything. I know we pay $40 for ours, I think, a year at First Interstate.
We could probably get by with something smaller.
I mean, then you have to bend them. Mine is where they can fit in, they're the size of a paper, so.
$40 a year.
I agree.
I'd like to make a motion that all the water share certificates should go in a safety deposit box at First Federal, paid for by the Jeffries Draw Architectural Control Committee for both north and south.
I'll
Okay.
second that one.
I don't know,
Okay, hold on,
does
hold on,
First Federal
hold
have a
on.
safe deposit box?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had your.
We're at First Interstate, so that's the other thing is safe deposit boxes are becoming less and less available, especially since First Interstate did
So
their change.
we cannot take the shares from Justin yet. He has control of those shares. So the only ones that we can deal with are him.
Nathan.
Justin has control of the South shares.
You wanna amend your motion?
Yeah, I guess I'll amend my motion. I don't know what bank then.
So the board can look into it.
The board can look into it and decide the best bank to have a safe deposit box at.
So
Is my
are we
opinion.
making a motion
Yeah.
to say the board can make that decision on where to get a safety deposit box?
Yes.
And the, Jeffrey Straw will pay for the safety deposit box?
Yes.
Can I have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Kurt? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Yay,
That
progress.
gets us out. Neighborhood picnic, like I said, this board will kind of go through that and decide when that might happen and then get a hold of everybody and figure that one out. I think we're about done. Respect for neighbors and property, as we kind of said,
I emailed Ann this afternoon, I wanted to bring up, our neighbors being neighborly and adhering to our speed limit. I noticed we got a lot of kids in our neighborhood now, and we got a lot of fast drivers. They go by my house pretty quick, up and down, so if everybody just be respectful of each other and drive the speed limit. I've got grandkids, as well as all of us, plus we all, you know, others have kids, so.
Okay, sounds good. Again, with respect to your neighbors, if you guys have an issue, just address it with the neighbor if you can, in a calm fashion. If you can't, then bring it to the board, but, you know, back in the day, you could go talk to your neighbor and usually figure it out, so.
Oh, and it's not only neighbors, it's our family members that come and visit.
Exactly.
So we need to let them know, we're contractors, things like that.
Yeah, the
contractors fly.
Yeah, contractors are bad, so. Yes, Tom?
Is it, my understanding that Westcott's paid for this room for us?
Yes, it is.
I would like to make a motion that,
No.
as a subdivision, that
No.
we reimburse them.
We don't want it, thank you, we'll refuse it.
Yeah, this
Thank
was
you, though.
important, thank
This is
you.
a gift, this is our contribution, thank you though.
You paid for water last year.
You worked your butt off, I see you crawling in holes, fixing pipes, so,
I guess they still.
Okay, I guess so.
thank you.
Thank
No,
you, Tom.
we don't want it, thank you.
That's called being neighborly.
Yeah, there you go, pay it forward, hey, just pay it forward,
Yes.
pay it forward.
Dogs and other pets contained and quiet from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. if possible. That's always kind of an ongoing issue, but.
I just wanna make a comment about that. I don't know where it's coming from, and I don't necessarily hear the dogs at between those times, but at my work, people are coming to me talking about dogs barking in our neighborhood. So I don't know where it is and who it is, but again, be very respectful of that.
It's not my chickens getting in trouble.
Anything else?
It's happy birthday to Paul today. Thank you for spending your birthday with us.
What a way to spend it.
Okay, meeting is adjourned.
The third one is on the south
Take care.